What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to my video. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about ITRM. This is a pharmaceutical company. Before we do get started, if you could please leave a like and subscribe. So in this video, what I'm going to be talking to you guys about is basically ITRM. I'm going to be talking to you guys about what they are planning on doing and what FDA is planning on approving. As well as I will be talking to you guys about what type of drugs these guys target and institutional investors in this company, as well as the chart. So I'm going to be showing you guys some support and resistance levels and places where I plan on purchasing and putting stop losses, and also my take profit. So in regards to the stock, like I mentioned, it is a pharmaceutical company. So a little bit about them is they are partnering up with Eversana. Eversana is basically a company that helps all pharmaceutical companies or companies in the life science industry basically go ahead and help them out with their drugs. No matter where they are in the business, they'll definitely help them out and help them achieve their goals. Now, essentially, what the infections that ITRM targets is they target urinary tract infections. So they target the common and uncommon ones. They're also looking into abdominal infections. And for those of you guys that don't know, it's basically bladder infection. So it's essentially where you have your kidneys and where your bladder is, there's an infection right there. So these infections can happen a lot to men and women. In regards to this is how it could happen. So it could happen through pregnancy, menopause, chronic health conditions, birth control, personal hygiene, as well as sexual activity. So if you don't wash yourself after or pee after you have your sexual activities, as well as for people that hold their pee often and they don't go ahead and just pee right away. If you do hold your pee often, that could cause bladder infection or urinary infections. So basically, in regards to the stock, basically these guys have submitted an NDA which did get approved, and the FDA accepted their NDA filing on January 25th, and they're essentially saying that they will be going ahead and looking to approve their they're looking to do an FDA approval, and they're looking to do that by no later than July. So there's a target in mind currently is July 25th. In regards to their drug that they're releasing, or they plan on releasing if everything does get approved, it's a $6.5 billion market, and they plan on getting about $1 billion of that market. Typically for these treatments and antibiotics, most companies get on average $300 million. Let me tell you guys this, keep this in mind. This company is only worth $183.40 at $2.26. So a company is worth $183. If this drug gets approved, and even if it hits the typical 300 million and doesn't hit that $1 billion mark, we could definitely see the stock 2, 3, 4x itself. Easy. But just keep in mind that this is a speculative and risky play. So basically they're saying if this drug gets approved, they are looking at hitting that May highs of $4.20. Personally, you could play this in different ways. You could either play it in a way where you sell before July 25th and play it safe, or you could hold on to July 25th. If everything does get approved, then literally you'll see your money double, triple, etc. And just keep in mind, risk what you're willing to lose if you do hold past July. So in regards to the company, basically it says here that 5% of all patients that are resistant to the common therapies, 2/3 of the patients that clinically fail will be retreated, and assuming that they only get 50% of the 2/3 that go ahead and get retreatment, so they get treatments again, if they only get 50% of them, they're going to get about $500 million in revenue off this drug alone. So essentially they're saying that they can easily hit that $500 million mark, but they're looking at targeting for up to $1 billion. Now, in regards to ITRM, what's coming up, like I mentioned, is the catalyst. They're waiting for the FDA approval. Like I mentioned, in July. There are also other drug pipelines, and essentially they're looking for the complicated urinary tract infection. So this is the uncomplicated one. This is the complicated one. This happened in June 1st, 2020. They didn't pass and meet the criterias. as well as the abdominal infections in phase 3. They also filled that in December 10th, 2019. If you guys look at the chart for this company on June 1st and December 10th, you'll see that the price did drop. So June 10th, right here, so June 29th was, May 29th was a weekend. June 1st, literally, it went ahead and dropped big. It dropped big from $4.20 all the way to $1.53. And same thing in December, it did drop, I believe, by like $1. If I'm not mistaken, it was like by $1. You guys could check that out. So that's why I said holding past July is a little bit risky. If it does get approved, you'll see a nice reward. But if it doesn't, you could definitely see the stock tanking. That's why my end, I plan on selling way before. Once it hits my price target in mind, I'm going to go ahead and cash out. So ITRM do have insider investors and institutional investors. So there's currently 30 institutional owners, and it only makes up about 10% of, a little bit under 10% of the company. And here are the recent purchases of insiders. As you can see, a lot of people are not purchasing too much of the company. They're just kind of dabbing into it just to kind of get kind of add them on their watch list and keep them in terms of long term to see if they could get this drug approved. Now, in regards to ITRM, here is the chart. So essentially, I drew these orange lines and this yellow line as well. These are like the support and resistant levels. So as you can see, every time the stock, not every time, but a lot of the times where the stock does hit that orange line, it bounces back down. So this could be a resistance or a support. So in this case right here, it kept playing above that orange line and didn't really go down. Here it hit that orange line and went down. Here the orange line, it went up. And as you can see, these are multiple support and resistance. So example, this one right here, it bounced off of it multiple times before it took off. So you could kind of see, if you want to play it this way, it's kind of right above or right near that support / resistance. If the stock could maintain this $2.10 price tag, we're looking at an upside potential, and we could go back to that $3 range, and hopefully my target is to sell at that $3.87 or $4.81 price tag. Depending on how the stock goes, I may just cash out a bit at the $4.81 and fully cash out at the $6 mark or near that $6 mark. But typically, I probably wouldn't want to sell anything under $3.87, just depending on how the stock goes. Now, my stop loss is set right here at $1.94. The reason for that being is because if it drops below that $1.94, there's a whole gap to fill. There could be a possibility it may go down and hit that $1.75 and kind of go retrace back up on that fib line. But there's a big possibility it will go down and it'll hit that gap to fill and it'll play around that support level. So that's why I said I'm putting a stop loss just here about 192-ish, a little bit underneath it. And if it does drop down, then I save this huge loss and I can buy back in right here. But essentially what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be buying up this stock, and as long as it can maintain that 195 or higher, I'm going to be purchasing as much as I can gradually, and then hoping for an upside. If it could break that $3 mark, it'll hit that 321, then 345. This one is a kind of a weaker support resistance, but it's still there. And hopefully it'll go ahead and hit that 618 and continue from there. But like I said, these are the levels. I will be tweeting out kind of updates on it and what I think about it. Right now the MACDs aren't looking too good, but that is the play that I have for this week. And I'll probably be holding this for probably a couple of weeks or maybe even up to a month. It all depends on what the price movement does. But that's it for this this video. If you guys liked it, please like and subscribe, and peace out.